ioEther, and we're back with some more world tanks. So, as you can see, whoops, let's zoom in a little bit. This is Chief in his FV304. This is one of my favorite little tanks. However, not my favorite artillery. My favorite artillery still is the AMX-13 F3 for the amount of shotguns I've had in that tank. Second best is, of course, the Crusader for the same reasons. Haha, Crusader SP. So before we actually get into this game, which is obviously a tier 8 game on Lakeville, let's pump that map up so I can actually see it. And let's switch over to something useful like tank names and actual names. Also, something else I should say before I forget. Ronick is in this game along with Werner. These three are platooned up, so I'm going to assume they're going to help him get shots on things and whatnot. And Chief is currently aiming at the edge of his reticle. Ooh, if only he could shoot just a little bit further, right? To take that shot. But anyways, before we actually get into this game, if you want to talk to me, Facebook, Twitter, and Duckster links are all in the description below. I should also put my Twitch stream link in there. Though I almost never stream because nobody ever asked me to, and I never remember by myself. Anyways, what else do I need to say before we get going? If you enjoy the video, please do hit the like button. It really does actually help me out quite a bit. And if you, of course, want to see more World Tanks content, subscribe. Ooh, so close. I actually thought he did the 240 for a second there, but of course he can't. He's in an FV304. So we're going to assume I've said all the self-promotion stuff that I need to say, and we're just going to get into this game. So Chief is in a beautiful little tank that has a short range, short range gun, but with a very, very nice aim time and very accurate. So you generally hit what you're aiming at as long as it's not a fast little tank on the move. Then you can sometimes get lucky. This T-25 is... no way you hit that. But you can definitely hit this T-25. Yep. Oh yeah. That probably went into the back of the turret of the T-25. So if he's not in a lot of pain, I'll be very, very shocked. Unfortunately, it appears he didn't actually track him. Now, I would enjoy if Chief was zoomed out a little bit more, but of course, that's just my personal preferences. Of course. If I can speak, this would be so much better. I personally enjoy zooming out just one more scroll wheel notch backwards, because it lets you see more of what's going on, and it stops tunnel visioning quite as much. That's one of my artillery. If I'm in a tank, it's a completely different story. We're not even going to bother thinking about that. Nope, that's out of your range. You can't shoot that. Now, unfortunately, the valley has fallen. All 4 tanks we had in the valley died. Apparently, a Type 58, a Lux, and a couple of other things. There wasn't much in the valley on their side, but apparently, I'm going to guess that our team tried to rush the valley and got killed by the TDs on their side. So now we have the danger of something coming over behind us. And there's the Lux and the Chavy. Speak of the devils. Now thankfully Werner and Ronick have fallen back to defend. And one of them looks like Ronick is being shot in the back by a Chaffee, who apparently can't hurt the back end of a YAG 8.8. Good job. Good job. And so, a Type 59. Now, he's a dangerous foe. He's stuck on Werner, and Chief is doing his best to scrape him off. But for some reason, where are you going, Chief? No, kill the Type 59. Don't worry about Ronick. Ronick can handle himself. Kill the Type 59. Where are you going? Really? Really? You basically kill Werner so that you could go and get yourself a shotgun kill. Really? Because you didn't want to kill an entire Type 59, instead you wanted to go kill a Chaffee. Sometimes I question the decisions of those people that send in things. That would be one of those decisions I very strongly questioned. And now he's just going to ignore the fact there's a Type 59 on the other side of the rock. Good. Set up for a shotgun. Because he's either going to try and run around and kill Ronick. Ooh, which is apparently what he's trying to do. Yep. Which means... Yep, good. Run around the rock, but Ronick's going to kill him before you get there, so... You could. Or Ronick's going to miss his next shot. And his... Ooh, there we go. And the artillery doing artillery's job got the kill. Hint, hint. Lovely. Okay, so now let's say 4 on 5. They have 3 TDs. We have 3 artilleries. Yeah. Ooh. Beautiful shot. Good job. So that was a beautiful shot by Chief. He set up. I don't think he expected the T-25 to show up right there, but he expected something to show up, and it did. And because of the fact that he had already been set up and waiting, boom, he could just fire off that shot. Now I'm slightly surprised it hit. Just because occasionally artillery shells arc over your target. Because of course you weren't actually aiming at the guy you were looking at, you were aiming out behind the guy you were looking at. Or that seems to be the way the game assumes you want to play. Now unfortunately, Chief only has 13 health left, so he can't even be splashed by anything left in this game. And everything but the Dicker Max will splash if it doesn't hit doesn't actually kill him in a single shot. So that's something he's got to watch out for. It looks like there's an artillery, probably the M12 right behind the S152, because of the fact that you did see the shot wing itself over Ronick's head, and it was just barely above his head in an arc. It tells me there's an artillery back there. So Ronick's probably going to run into him in a few seconds here. And in the meantime, Chief is going to push up on his tail, which is exactly the right move. Because if something all of a sudden decides to catch, Chief is fast enough to get back and at least splash him to death. Or not splash him to death, but splash him. And preferably fast enough to retreat after. Ooh, it was a GW Tiger P. That's a big artillery who fires and only does a little bit of damage. Now, odd. But apparently my damage counter has stopped working. I'm fairly certain Ronick hit that guy. Or not Ronick. Oh, Chief. Wow. Name totally escaped me for a second there. Chief hit that guy for about 200 damage. It may have been wrong. That may have been Ronick hitting him. And Chief missed? I don't really know. It doesn't really matter. Either way, Chief is about to jump on the cap, and now we're in a do or die situation. Yes, we could run back to our base and try and stop the cap. But what's the likelihood of both of them being on our cap? Well, it seems okay right now. Apparently it's not all that great. But we do know that we can get 3 guys on their cat faster than they can get 3 guys on ours. Partially because they only have 2 guys. Which is a really big hint. Now, this is the end of the game. There is no way... Well, I say that, and yet. Because of the fact that we're all clustered up down here, if the M12 were to pop around this corner, or if he was over here and guessed the right spot, or whatever. Somewhere in back here and guessed the right spot, or popped out or something, he could potentially splash enough of us to reset the cat far enough. Oh no, never mind. As I'm saying all this, I suddenly realize this number here. That means both of them are on the enemy cap. That means we win. It's end of game. GG. Great game. Chief, please next time save WordNet and let Ronick fend for himself. It would have gone so much better in the long run. 1500 experience without premium, with his daily double. That's fairly decent. He of course earned the coveted Stark's medal for getting shot a bunch of times and killing a couple of enemies in an artillery player and surviving the game. Cruiser, second class mastery badge. That's pretty awesome. And a little bit of money. This wasn't a bad game. It just had some questionable decisions. If instead of rushing in to kill the Chaffee, who actually was one of their better players, he instead had taken out their best player, it would have been a better game for him. He would have got more experience. Although he was, high up on this board, hitting the Type 59 a couple of different times, quite possibly would have knocked the Type 59's tracks off, let WordNet survive, and as we saw in the beginning, the Chaffee was doing next to nothing to Ronick. It would have taken that Chaffee a good minute or so to kill Ronick, assuming he could get all his shots in on the back end of Ronick's tank without Ronick being able to do anything about it. But all Ronick would have had to do would have been to basically scrape him off against that rock he was right beside, and the Chaffee would have been dead. So by picking to run after the Chaffee instead of going after the Type 59, Chief condemned WordNet to death and got a kill that didn't mean a whole lot. So next time, please choose the other thing. Other than that, that was a spectacular game. Exactly what you should be doing in FV304 at any point in the game. Moving around quite a bit and shotgunning when possible. Always a great thing to do with this tank. And dealt out 1,000 damage, which is very impressive. And so, of course, it means that one of those shots or two of those shots didn't register on the hit counter, but did actual damage. That's kind of cool. I love how he did. He fired 10 shots. 4 of them were direct hits. 4 of them were splash damage, and 4 of them were penetrations. That's interesting. So, of course, that T-25. Oh, right. We didn't know the damage that T-25 received. It was probably 400 damage straight through the back of his turret. That pissed him off. Actually, let's see what we did do to him. Yeah, 500 damage through the back end of him and damaged 3 bits of him. So, yeah, I'm gonna say he was not a happy camper after that. Thank you, ioEthernuts, for watching. Remember to hit the like button if you did enjoy it. And I will see you all next time. This ioEther out. Hey folks, this is ioEther, and we're back with some more World Tanks. Side scraping. How to counter a player who's side scraping. So the E100 is trying to side scrape. And you can see, let's see. Ronick is actually firing at the engine deck of the enemy tank. And, well, that makes sense, because Ronick's gun is actually higher up than the enemy tank's engine deck, so he can aim down. And if he concentrates right, and if he, T-57. Really? How did you miss that shot on the T-57? Really? That was like a free shot. So the enemy E100 is getting really pissed that Ronick can somehow penetrate him without being, without exposing enough of his tank so that this guy can kill Ronick. So Ronick's, again, gonna shoot for the engine deck.